Do your accent.
Because I did my ancestry.
Okay. I heard you're 90% Nigerian. You look more Nigerian than me. You look like a dignitary.
Michael Blackson told me I got off the boat yesterday.
You should be driving Uber. It's like, where do you want to go? Okay, my name is Shannon.
So how obviously
90% Nigerian.
90%.
Fuck.
Your parents, mom and dad.
My mom and dad.
How strict were they with your upbringing?
Okay. My parents aren't here anymore, but bless up to my mother and my father. I'm Godfrey Jr., by the way, Godfrey Sr. They were strict because, immigrants always have rules. They say, you coming into the house.
Were your parents first generation?
First generation. I'm first generation Nigerian. And they came straight from Lagos, Nigeria, and small villages, and my father, who got his sort of a teaching scholarship to a school in Nebraska, Omaha. It's called Dana College. I think it's defunct now. And that's where I was born.
Okay.
I was born in Nebraska. Wow. Right? That's why me and Gabrielle Union relate well, because she's from Nebraska. Malcolm X is from Nebraska. Warren Buffett. Hey, I'm just counting. And so my father was in school there in Nebraska. That's when I was born. My sister was born in Nigeria. My sister Juliana was born in Nigeria for 2 years. Born in Nigeria. We're Igbos. Igbo tribe. I don't know what tribe. You don't know what tribe you are?
I don't know what tribe, yeah.
Okay, yeah, you might be Igbo, dog. Shit. I can see it in your face. So my sister was born there. Then I was born in Nebraska. And my brother was born in Chicago. Grew up in Chicago. And they were strict. They were, my father was an educator for 45 years on the west side of Chicago, Malcolm X College, and he created programs for prisoners. My father was in the system, the teaching system. My mother was a nurse.
Okay.
One of the best nurses in Chicago. She trained some of my friends as nurses. He was a OB-GYN nurse delivering babies. So they were strict with my sister, especially. You can't wear makeup until this age. Right. Come home at 9 when my father used to say, you see the light there? You see that light? When it comes, you better be in the house. I will beat you there. Yeah. It was that's what it was.
Right.
I grew up in an area of Chicago, what's called Uptown. Chicago is the most segregated city in the country till this day.
Wow.
Martin Luther King got hit with a brick in Chicago.
Yeah.
Right? And
it's narrows, right?
Yes. And he got hit with a brick. It's the most segregated city in Chicago. That and Milwaukee. And Milwaukee's not that far from Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Milwaukee,
The most segregated. And it was discovered by a black man, Chicago. A French black man named Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable. Du Sable Museum, Du Sable Drive. Yes. And it's the most segregated. And my father, as a teacher, would be like, you make sure your homework is done. You come in the house at a certain time, all that. So they were strict, reasonably strict, I would say. My sister a little bit harder because she was a girl.
Right.
But they were reasonably strict. My parents were really, we got our asses whooped,
right.
For real, that kind of ass.
Right. So what did they want you guys to become?
This is what Nigerian parents do. They already tell you what you're gonna be. My father, he's like, so this is what you will do. You will go grade school, then you go to high school, then you go to college, then you will be a doctor. My father was like, and you're like, all right, cool. So they live vicariously through you. So you will be a doctor. That's what I said. So I have pre-med psychology. That's what I did. I played football my senior year in high school. I went to Lane Tech High School.
Okay.
Shout out to Lane Tech High School. I was in a Catholic school because my father did not like public schools. As a teacher, he's like, you have to go to Catholic school. You have to go to Catholic school. And I went to the St. Benedict, racist ass, religious bullshit ass, fucking white racist nuns and shit. Fuck them. And I wanted to get into this other school, Lane Tech,
right,
which was a smart school, college prep school. It was #1 with Michelle Obama's school, Whitney Young. Got into there. And then I played football for my senior year. And then I got a scholarship to Memphis State University. I got a couple scholarships as a wide receiver.
Right.
And then my father said, no, you have to go. I don't trust. He didn't trust that. The scholarship shit, he said, you will end up not being able to do your homework. So I couldn't do any of that shit. So he was very strict on that. But they were reasonably strict, man, where I'm glad they were the way they were. Just immigrant shit. as I look at myself now, I'm like, I'm glad that they were the way they were, you know? My sister is great. My brother, Daniel, and he's still in Chicago. He's a train, but we were well raised. And I'm surprised I'm even in this business because my family was pretty normal. My family was pretty normal, like normal problems. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm in this business because you would think like a lot of times people come into entertainment because of family dysfunction, you know, narcissism, which I have, narcissism, drug shit, all kinds. Grew up pretty fucking normal and I'm in this fucking business.
Wow.
Because I love comedy so much and I love expressing myself, but I'm not into the grimy shit, really.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Godfrey, as I'm sitting here listening to you,
Yes.
how were you able to like, you can like in and out, you can have the accent Nigerian, but you speak very American.
I was born here.
I don't give a
Damn. I was born.
But let me ask you a question.
What?
Because I know a lot of people that came from other countries.
Yes.
When they're in their own home, they speak the native language.
That's
when
normal.
they go outside, they talk about
What's up? Yeah, it's cold.
Did your parents have you speak Nigerian at home?
No, I'm gonna be honest. My parents, man, they admitted. My mother say, yeah, we were lazy. We were supposed to teach you Igbo. We were speaking to you, you know, but we got lazy. They got a little lazy.
Okay.
I wish they would have like spoken because my sister knows the language.
Yeah.
When they're speaking, because my parents would use broken English, pidgin English, and my sister knew when they were speaking straight Igbo because she was born there. She
Pidgin English. I don't know, but I know pigeon toad.
Pigeon toe. I know about pigeon toe, but
I know about
stool pigeon.
Yeah.
I know about pigeon toe.
I mean, so
Pigeon is like, you know, like they said, what are you doing? Making mouth. It's like when you hear Afro beats.
Yeah.
They use a lot of pigeon in that.
okay.
I say, Abi, what are you doing? Make it, you know, it's like English. It's like patois.
Okay.
With the Jamaicans. Kinda.
Yeah.
It's English, but it's like, it's cut up and, you know, and it's like a way that I was just in Nigeria in December, which was great, which was fantastic. And, you know, a lot of Nigerian Americans get a lot of hard time from Nigerians that were born there. They say, you're not really, you're Americanized. I go, my parents can't, that's not their fault. Because, you know, there was a thing called the Biafra Wars in the 1960s. There was Biafra War. It was a tribal war. Igbos were getting killed.
Right.
My father changed our name. My last name is Danchima. But our name was Chima. But my father changed it so we could survive and get the fuck out of Nigeria. It was Biafra War. That's why I was born here.
Right.
What's really fucked up is that Nigerians will say, not all of them, but someone will say, you're not really Nigerian. I say, yes, I am. If my parents are Nigerian, I come out Nigerian.
Right.
Period.
Right.
When you see an Asian man, no matter where they are, you go, look at that Asian guy over there.
Right.
You connect them to their continent.
Yeah, they don't say just because he was born in the States or
And I know some Southern Asian. I'm Chinese. I'm like, I'm from Texas, but they'll still say, oh, the Asian guy is from Texas.
Right.
They already connect them. But for some reason, when it comes to the African life it's like all of a sudden I'm not African, but you believe the white South African, though. You believe the white guy that's African. But I, who have the genes, just because I was born here, or British African, they'll give a British Nigerian more respect than an American Nigerian. There's a lot of Nigerian Americans, Ethiopian Americans, Congolese Americans. They're here. We are still African. I don't care that I don't know the language. Oh, so I'm still African. Now, if you were to ask me, are you Nigerian? I'd be like, hell no, I ain't Nigerian. I'm American. The Nigerian be like, how can you say that? Well, how can you embarrassed us? Oh, why you are Niger? How can you? Oh, your mother. See? Yeah. So fuck that.
They want it both ways, huh?
They want it both ways. So I'm glad I went back to Nigeria. I hadn't been there since I was a teenager, and my parents are gone now, you know, which is crazy. My mother passed away first. Mother passed leukemia. So,
sorry to hear
the
that.
cancer thing. My parents married 40-something years. That shit was crazy. And to see your mother, your first superheroes were your parents. Your mother, your father, they gave you everything. You know, if it weren't for them leaving Nigeria, surviving a Biafra war, I wouldn't even be sitting here in Club Shay Shay if it weren't for them and that hard work, busting their ass. And I always thank God for that. Like I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be doing comedy, none of that shit. And my father died after that, you know, and to see my mother, that was crazy. To see my mother, like tell me that she's has cancer, that shit was I don't ever want to live that shit again, but that was crazy. Your mother who's strong and boom, boom, boom. And then she's in and out of hospitals. And then she had 6 months to live, but she lived 8 extra.
Wow.
You know,
That's
and
awesome.
my parents renewed their vows at the time. And then my father has a very strong voice. Godfrey, come here. That's my dad. Because I always say he sounded like the Lion King.
Yeah.
Godfrey, come here. My father. And my father always had a strong voice, strong voice, strong voice. But then when my mother was going to pass away, my father, when he knew it was about that time, that was the weakest I ever heard my father's voice. He's like, it was just weak. And I said, damn. And then she died while I was doing the 7-Up commercials. That's what happened. She died right in the middle of it. And I kept it to myself. Because I don't like that attention.
Right.
I don't know if you've had people pass on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, shit. Because my cousin called crying, bawling. And my poor brother, Daniel, he saw both my parents go in front of him.
Right.
And so my father lived along another like 10, 11 years. But every time I would visit my father in Chicago, you could see it's just empty without my mother gone.
Yeah.
Part
of him died when she
man. And they say my father was always healthy. My father would never caught colds. He was always eating healthy, and he just went. I think it was broken heart.
Mm-hmm.
So and what freaked me out was when my father passed. You know, you got to go see him at the funeral home.
Mm-hmm.
I had a show at my sister's alma mater, Loyola University.
Right.
I had to do a show at her university, a college show, and then I had to see my father's body a couple blocks away. Right after I had to get off and go, good night, and then go and see my father's body. Just my dad, just there in his traditional garb. That shit. Yeah, so, but I thank God if it weren't for them, you know, I wouldn't even, and they saw some of my success, which was great. It was great because my father was a CNN guy and I got to get on CNN. Because that's all he watched.
Right.
He thought I was the greatest thing in the world because that was when Michael Richards, remember Michael Richards from Seinfeld, Snap?
Yeah.
Used the N-word? Yeah. I was around Michael Richards about a week before that. I used to do shows with that crazy motherfucker. And then they called me, CNN, Anderson Cooper's show was like, Godfrey, they want you to come CNN and talk about the Michael Richards shit. And I got on there and talked about the Michael Richards shit. My father saw it and went crazy because that's all he watches.
Right.
He says, I called all the Nigerians in Chicago, you were on CNN, you know, shit like that. So all my successes, even though I was a pre-med psych major and I wanted to get into psychiatry, but once I decided to be a comedian, you know, your friends are like, well, at least get your degree and then you can, you know, just in case you fail, you can boom. But yeah, I ended up doing okay.
You were born in Nebraska.
Yeah.
Did you have a bunch of black friends? Because
I didn't. I was born in Nebraska. I was a baby. I grew up in Chicago.
So you had a bunch of black friends.
Bunch of black friends. I had all my friends, and you know, I had friends, African American, of course.
Yeah.
Nigerians, Indians, Koreans, Cambodians, Vietnamese, Laos, Chinese, Polish. It was very immigrant oriented in that area, uptown area. That's the most integrated area in Chicago.
Okay.
So my friends were immigrant kids and African Americans, of course, and white Americans. And yeah, so the only time I got culture shock was when I went to all white schools. That's when I don't know if it's culture shock, but it was just like racism and all that shit, being called the N-word and shit. I was called the N-word in class, English class, my honors English class.
In high school?
They called me N-word. It was like 3, you know, it's always 3 against 1. So they were like, they called me, and it was like they whispered it, fucking nigger, like that, fucking nigger, fucking nigger. I was like, me, fucking nigger, yeah, you're a fucking nigger. I was like, me? I'm looking like me, and they're like, yeah, fucking you, nigger. I was like, what the fuck? And my teacher was black, Mrs.
What'd she say?
She. You know, when I look back, I go, she probably was having problems with the faculty herself.
Right.
She didn't say shit. I was just like, oh, fuck, you fucking nigger. I thought, and they said it just like that. You're a fucking nigger. I was like, and so I thought they were mispronouncing Nigerian. I didn't know.
Nah,
I said, there's only one G. The G is soft.
Want to join Club Shay Shay? Become an official member by hitting that subscribe button, where you never know who's going to be joining us for drinks and conversation. Don't be late to the party because you know we like to do something before 2 something.